Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that was really how to overcome once and for all feeling lost, feeling drained, feeling depressed, apathetic, and kind of without direction after experiencing a very manipulative or pathological relationship with someone like a borderline individual, a malignant narcissist, or a psychopath. One of the main triggers that is set up in these type of relationships is that of trauma bonding, where you are connected to them more through fear than through love. You are really bonded to them traumatically, meaning that they put you into a state of fight or flight, which then arrests or truncates or stops or stifles your development at a specific stage, which is further away from self-actualization or wholeness or healing or individuation, however you want to describe it. And a developmental arrest can mean you feel that you are not quite living up to your potential. You are not living your best. You're not living the best of life. You're not living the quality of life that you feel you should and are capable of and deserving. In other words, you are not quite meeting the bar. You're not quite, hitting the standard. And you need and want to raise the bar and raise the standard, but you don't quite know how because you have a feeling of being lost or not really knowing what it is to be grounded or centered or being able to take action on specific things. In fact, oftentimes people feel a sort of dissipation or lack of focus and lack of desire because it contradicts their truth. It contradicts them being lost. It contradicts this identity which they are holding onto because it has been so perpetuated and memorized over time that anything to the contrary does not feel right. It feels very uncomfortable. So then you must identify and realize that your comfort level is your failure level. Your comfort space is your failure space. In other words, it is going to feel different. And if you label this as uncomfortable, then it might become unpleasant. If you start labeling these new steps, these kind of making yourself or disciplining yourself to make the changes, it might feel uncomfortable because you are not accustomed to rising up. I mean, it's going to feel, like, you're maybe living a lie or living a fraud or this isn't me, but you have to then use the role of mindfulness and observation and say, well, I care about myself to break free from this fear, to be able to go to the grocery store, to be able to go to an event, a birthday party, to be able to go, to a work office, to be able to do these things and not feel that, you feel that you stand out or that you're scared or you have hypervigilance or flashbacks or things of this nature. In other words, you can't support yourself because you're not used to this. You have what I call your emotional sea legs. And just as if you were, on a topsy-turvy raft and, you didn't have your whereabouts, you hadn't standed for a long time, when you first get on land, it's going to feel woozy. In other words, the motion, the energy makes you feel like you're still on that raft. You feel like you're still stuck in the trauma. It's kind of been rehearsed and memorized and stored in the body, and it has a protective mechanism, i.e., that hypervigilance is in place. But the problem is that feeling of lost, of being kind of uncentered or undirected now is not appropriate. Now, as you're mature, you have the ability and wherewithal to make changes and to open yourself up to opportunities. But you have to get tools to enforce it. So it's like someone is taking you by the hand and you must take yourself by the hand and then get these things accomplish that you want to make steps in the next direction. And at first, you're going to be consciously incompetent, at first you're going to be unconsciously incompetent, meaning you don't know that you're missing out on something, that you're not evolving your life in a specific way that you want or could, it is open and available to you. That's called unconscious, incompetent. And then you move to the level of being consciously incompetent, meaning, you know what, I know that I need to make a change and I know that I haven't been able to do this yet. And then as you work on it and do the tools like the recovery date, like saying your affirmations, I have a direction, my heart knows best. I have direction, my heart knows best. I have a dream, my heart knows best. I have a future, my heart knows best. Everything is coming together for me, my heart knows best. So, and when you repeat these positive affirmations, you're then reprogramming, reconditioning, resetting your neural hardware, which is kind of what's wiring and firing within your body and your mind. And then you're able to become more coherent, and it's becoming clear, and you become more secure as you've done it over and over. It's just like learning to do anything like riding a bicycle. At first you had training wheels, and then you get up on the two wheels. It's very much the same way. Now, we're not going crazy. We're not doing the unicycle unless you wanted to, but we are just getting to the point where you can then evolve and self-actualize and feel like you have direction, and you have a kind of a propelling into what you want. And then as you continue to do this, then you become consciously competent, meaning that you evolve through the next developmental stage where you're aware that you're doing it, but you still have to enforce yourself. And then as you do it again and again and again, maybe over a couple months or a couple years' time, then you'll become unconsciously competent, where meaning your identity will be more set up on following through. You'll go and take yourself on the recovery dates. You'll pick up a recovery gift. Your writing will be more secure for you and become a welcome place, a happy place for you to be. You're going beyond your comfort zone, and now you're in your success zone. And remember that oftentimes the uncomfortable zone can be like your prison zone, and you really want that freedom, but you have to discipline yourself to the steps and conform to your standards versus conforming to the standards of others and perhaps the disparaging pain. Don't conform to the pain, conform to your desire. And, as soon as you get into motion, oftentimes people find that fear or that pain begins to dissolve a little bit, and it's not so, it's liberating. It's not holding you back so much. And then as you repeat this again and again, you'll feel like you have direction. I have direction. I'm following the direction of my heart. I have direction. I'm following the direction of my dreams. I'm finding new interests on a daily basis. I am pursuing and enforcing this, and this is good. And this then propels the positive, orderly direction thinking, which I talk about, meaning you begin to evolve and walk through into this positive, orderly direction, and then your body then begins to do it naturally once you do it again and again and again. And it does take time. It might take a couple months or a couple years, depending on the severity, but it is a way for you to actually take pen into hand and really direct yourself, getting yourself a calendar and enforcing these things so you feel that you have direction, and then you're able to validate it for yourself. And then as time comes, then others will acknowledge you, validate you, be able to see you for who you are, and there will always be a maintenance. In other words, the pain is going to be there because oftentimes people hold dear to the pain because they don't want to forget. They need that kind of as an anchor a little bit in your life, but you can reduce the weight of the anchor with time, where it's not all of your feeling, it's a part of your feeling. It's not, the huge bulk of how you feel on a daily basis. It might be there on a little bit, it'll go from 8 pounds to, 1 pound to 8 ounces to 3 ounces to 1 ounce. So you'll still have that feeling of this happened to me, but it's part of your history. But don't make your history, your life. That's the past. You don't want to be addicted to the past. You want to reduce and sort of detoxify from the past, dissolve a lot of that rootedness, and begin to plant new seeds so you can become rooted in new areas. And it does take time. I mean, look at a forest. Look at the time it takes for the trees to become mature. You must have compassion for yourself and your emotional life, health and sexualization, and growth in the same manner. You can do this, stay with it, and keep it on that process, and you will reap the results. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.